Wow.
Yeah, it's getting really bad. I mean, it's a pleasure to meet you, first of all.
Of course.
I want to thank you for coming here and showing up to the speakensee channel. You know, we got a lot of subscribers that know about you now, and we made awareness as well when it was Warnock and Ossoff in Georgia to help the small businesses, and we needed them as well as the backbone for them to push through. And I know we got the small businesses on their side as well to help get them in the Senate so that we can do more for the American people because our senators right now they're failing us miserably,
Especially Rubio.
especially Rubio. And I appreciate what you're doing right now in Florida, and the fact that you just come along and support the small businesses with the backbone behind what you say. It means a lot to us in Florida.
Absolutely.
Is there
Well, thank
anything you
you
can?
all for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Anything you want to say to the people out there, or?
Well, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to have this conversation because it's something that affects so many businesses across not only this state, but it affects businesses across the country. And so, I'm very thankful and honored to be able to have the discussion around uh, potential resources that will positively impact the business community. So let's jump right into it. I'm ready.
They promised us a $10,000 grant to close our doors. Basically, I'm a small business owner. We close our doors and we can't go outside. You know, nobody knows what COVID is. They promised the people $10,000 to close their doors and sustain their business. So we did that in Florida. You know that everything just went quiet. Remember that? Everything just it was like a ghost town. And we were expecting the $10,000 to come in and support the business. We've gone under. Small businesses have gone under. And then they come out and they say, you're only getting $1,000 per employee. You know, I mean, as well as I know, that only 2, 3 employees per small business is average. And that ain't going to do nothing for somebody for now we're going on a year and a half for the grant that was supposed to be $10,000. Now it's not there. And they promised us that we would have it. And the thing is, they've reneged on that promise and the CARES Act. And now they're just, I mean, leaving us out to the wolves. So as you were saying, Robert?
I mean, we saw a sudden shift from the 1K per employee policy to a low income area policy where people were finally getting their 10K grant, but they had to be in this new defined system, which people qualified by being in a purple zone as met by the SBA. And for many, that meant you sat in for a year and now you had your qualifications shifted on you last minute without being able to prepare for yourself. And I mean, Speak has seen many people right now. We've waited 4 months for them to go through 4 or 5 million invites, and they've only processed about 90,000 businesses of the 4 or 5 million who actually were invited.
Yeah, I'd like to put that in perspective here for Florida. They have processed it. They just came out with the stats a couple days ago. They've processed 8,000. I have the numbers here. 8,953 of the grants have been processed in Florida since then. 8,953 of the $10,000 grants. And in Florida, as of 2020, there's 2.5 million businesses in Florida, and they've only processed 9,000, not even 9,000 grants out of 2.5 million businesses. That's where we stand right now as far as the money not being dispersed. So,
And to also put it into another perspective, Carranza last year, as much as we hate her, as far as the business decisions she has made for everyone, she was able to process about $20 billion worth of grants by the time of July. And then the same time going from January to now, I mean, we're talking $733 million or so. To, let's see. Oh, so, all right. So, all right. Am I still here? Yep.
yep.
So,
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, if you caught all that, or what, as far as what Rubio has done, basically, is what Rubio has done is he is they've all done it. Actually, the CARES Act was signed by all of Congress, all of the senators, and they basically promised us the $10,000 grant, the small businesses, and they haven't delivered. What are your thoughts on that?
The way the funding has been carried out, it's been really a shame. And as far as small business administration, one of the things that I've always wanted to streamline their process to make it work better. In Florida alone, there are close to 3 million businesses. And the Small Business Development Council recently did a survey. I think they surveyed about 100,000 businesses. And out of 100,000 businesses, 40% of those businesses are going to close their doors if they haven't already closed their doors. And when you think about the fact that it is small businesses, that's the backbone to our state economy, small businesses, the backbone to our national economy, we should be doing everything in our power as leaders, as policy writers, to make sure that small businesses get every advantage that they need. I had a problem with the way that the SBA has handled business owners, probably for the last 20 years. My background is corporate development. I have helped to establish close to 400 businesses throughout Florida on behalf of different people. And I have helped people to go through the SBA process. And the fact is that the process has always been strenuous. It has always been invasive, and it needs to be reformed. We need to have it where the monies that are there get to the business with no problem whatsoever. Because essentially, if business owners are the ones that are going to create jobs, help stimulate the economy, then we should be making sure that they get the money that they deserve, especially in pandemic times. Now, I know that a lot of businesses have been adversely affected by the rise of tech giants, Amazon, but COVID-19 has placed a huge damper on small businesses, especially with federal officials wanting these small businesses to close. And when these small businesses close down without any revenue coming in, most businesses are already stressed to the point that when you think about 80% of businesses that start up within 5 years go under anyways, it becomes a situation where every piece of resource is vital. So the $10,000 that small businesses should have received under the original plan, we need to go back there, and we don't need to be playing around with where the money is. And usually whenever the politicians play around with money like that, it's because behind the scenes, they're renegotiating terms with people that they're colleagues, and we have to hold them accountable. We have to continue to raise the awareness on these issues so that people understand what's going on. And when people in general begin to understand and the public outrage increases, then it has a way of putting pressure on the policymakers to make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing for these small businesses. And the fact of the matter is this: a lot of these businesses have gone out of business, and many of them will never come back. That hurts everyone, because if there are people that are out of work, that don't have jobs, the thing that usually takes place is crime goes up, because if people can't get money from a legitimate source or legitimate way, a lot of times they turn to criminal activity. Yeah. We've seen that throughout the history of the United States, throughout the history of the world. So if these politicians don't get it together, we could see adverse fallout from a lot of this taking place. And we need to make sure that the language is not restrictive. We need to make sure that we open it up to all business owners, not just people in certain geographical locations, because it takes all of us to make our economy work. I know in Florida, small businesses represent about 35% of our GDP, which is a significant amount. And how we circulate money and how we stimulate our economy, we depend heavily on small businesses. So I believe that we need to hold the elected officials accountable. There needs to be transparency. We have to demand it as citizens. We have to demand it as small businesses. I'm right now inside of my small business. I'm a small business owner. I own a hair salon and spa, and I have been hurt because of the pandemic. I know that I'm downtown Seaburn, 80% of the businesses down here have been hurt. A lot of them have had to close their doors. Many of them will never open again. And if these funds would have been in place, I know that most of them would still be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with 100%. My best friend is actually their hairstylist as well, and they have a salon here in Oldsmar, Florida. And they felt the big pressure because they couldn't, let people in, and it hurts them. And I mean, they did sustain them. They're sustained, but not enough. It just wasn't what was promised to them, and they didn't get. I believe they got $3,000 of the CARES Act out of the 10,000. That other 7,000 was huge. And who do we have to blame here? Who is to blame?
I think it's a combination of elected officials and the SBA's process. Because even if the EIDL grants was not available, there are other funding mechanisms within the SBA that small businesses could go after. But those funds, a lot of times, are very difficult to get to. The paperwork is so strenuous, and it asks so many questions that they really don't need to be asking. The thing that I would like to do, Senator, is to streamline the entire small business administration's process and how they grant funds. There are a lot of small businesses that are ran by veterans. I remember about 20 years ago, there used to be the Veterans Express Loan, or the Patriots Express Loan,
Yep.
Where veteran businesses could get up to $5 million with a 1% interest payback. And that just went away. And when I think about the fact that you have small businesses that are ran by veterans, a lot of which are stressed and dealing with the threat of suicide, we need to continue to make sure that we're looking out for those small businesses that are veteran-owned businesses. And to see that just go away, I've been appalled over and over again by the SBA. So again, SBA policy, laws that are written by elected officials at the federal level, we have to hold them all accountable. And I think the best way to do it is to continue to have dialogue like this, so that people can begin to understand, because this is complex stuff that we're talking.
Yeah.
This is a complex concept. The CARES Act is complex. And so most people are not taking the time to go through it. But if we continue to have these conversations, then people will begin to they will start to wake up, and then we can leverage the weight of public sentiment against these policy makers to force them to do what's necessary on behalf of the American people.
So should we tell them more about the communication issues with the SBA in regards to 2020 and even now, especially in regards to like 4506Ts and procedural process?
I'm more interested right now in the procedural process. Has always been when we start doing paperwork and giving it to people who are in the, we can talk about that real quick. I'd like to talk about the SBA when they just hired from different agencies in order to fulfill the position to get these grants out. I know my son was in his bedroom. He was actually hired by one of them, and the kid doesn't deserve to be hired by one of them. I can tell you that right now. He's a smart kid, but he's just a kid, but he was in his bedroom and literally helping people try to get loans. He doesn't know a whole lot. He's just started college, and he isn't, trained to do these things, but he was doing it. And I knew who was declining the loans. It was like kids like that in the bedroom. Everybody that needed a job was basically given one. And I don't need to point administrations out. It was we know who was doing that at the time, and it's a different administration now. And we thought that things were going to change, but it seems like things have just even taken a backward step due to more litigation needing to be. Now, if we were going to get it fixed now, because we know that you're going to be elected in another year and a couple months, that's what we're going for here. But these small businesses can't wait that long. What would you suggest? Because, like you're saying, they're all going to be out of business. What would you suggest to speed up the process now? Because for those out there listening to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that you're saying. The fact of the matter is that, and you said it, businesses need access to those funds right now. they can't wait a year and a half when I'm elected as U.S. Senator. So we have to continue to put pressure on those who can make it happen right now. It's unfortunate that people like Marco Rubio, who's the senator for the state of Florida, if you were to try and put pressure, make phone calls, send emails, send letters, it is unfortunate that you will be met with silence over and over again. That is unfortunate.
No, that is exactly what happened. I have tried to get with Rubio. I just want to put that out there. I've tried a lot to get with Rubio, and I have gotten nothing. It's been horrible. Like you said, I've met with silence and ignored.
Yeah. And see, and that's the problem. And it's because you have people who are in charge, you have people who have the power to make the phone calls, to write the policies, but when they don't work for you, it almost puts you in a situation where you're between a rock and a hard place, because you know that there's a guy that will do what's necessary, but he won't be elected until a year and a half away. So then where do you shift the pressure? And that's what needs to happen. It's a pressure thing. I've always told people, so I'm a political scientist, I've always told people that when you go direct to a representative or to a senator with a problem, usually you're not going to get resolved on your issue. But if you build a coalition big enough, and if you make a lot of noise in the media and you get the media backing you, you can leverage the weight of the media and the numbers of your coalition to put pressure on politicians. And so the name of the game is to move public sentiment, and then public sentiment can dictate public policy. And it's unfortunate that it works that way. It would be much better that the elected official can just see the problem and then rectify it.
Yeah.
But when you got people who are in there looking out for self and not looking out for people, then that's what happens. So now we have to organize, we have to build coalitions, leverage the weight of our coalitions and the presence of the media to put pressure. So petitions, political action activities like court, like standing at the courthouse and just protesting and doing whatever you can to make sure that our voices are heard. I am ready to do just that. You know, I'm ready to go and hold a protest in front of the cameras and make sure that the media understands that there are millions of small businesses out here that are in need of funds that are supposed to be available to help them get through this trying time. Because the last thing that we need is to see more businesses day after day closing their doors, never to come back, and continue to hurt our economy. You know, and that's another thing. Not only should we be receiving some type of business assistance, but everyday people, if we were to stay home, everyday people should get some type of wage subsidy to be able to help them get through their times, or just cancel all debt. Do a universal debt freeze in America until we bring COVID-19 under submission. Because if you're asking people to stay home and you're not helping them financially, then it's like a waste of time, because people are going to still have their bills come in due every single month. That's not going to stop. So if we can't get access to the funds, then cancel all of the debt in the United States.
Bold.
Very bold. And I just want to say out there to the listeners of the channel here, the thing that struck me most about, because people here in my channel know I really don't care for politicians. I don't. And there's nothing against you. I really enjoy you. Because what happened is we got with Ellison about the protest. I was going to go protest in front of Rubio's doorstep again. And he said, let's do it. That's what threw me, like, what? This isn't somebody that was just going to say, yeah, sure, I'll do it, and then not do it. But he was actually saying, let's go. And I just want to get this out there to all the people that are out there watching. Somebody that, if a politician says he's going to do it and he says, let's do it, you need somebody like this. We need somebody like this, because the other guys just ain't doing it. They're talking, but there's no action. And I just want to put out there for Mr. Ellison here, the next senator of the Florida, that he was ready to go and just do this. For you small businesses out there, I mean, and it wasn't a show. It was awesome. It was pretty cool. And that's what
Well,
struck me.
what it boils down to is this: what do small businesses do for us? Small businesses help to stabilize our economy. Small businesses provide resources, they provide products, they provide services. Why wouldn't we stand up for small businesses when they do so much for the American society? You know, it just makes good sense. It makes good business sense.
Yep. Robert, do you have anything?
I mean, I have a lot of things, but of interest, I mean, we've done petitions.
Yeah,
I mean,
got a petition out there.
We've literally been screaming, calling, faxing, emailing. We've even gotten now a CD album in production just to protest this very notion that Bill S513 should be hitting the floor like yesterday. I mean, there's a lot of story and context to this, but we've essentially seen 2 to 3 bill iterations of S4227, which essentially guaranteed the 10K EIDL grant regardless of area, size, and location. It's just, it was meant to be a 10K flat check to business to get them through. That's what Benjamin Cardin had intended for small business. It had not been followed. And that kind of got bastardized in December with the whole low income area definition. So we were wondering if they were going to change it at all, because at first it seemed like a concession because the Republicans had led it at the time. So we thought it'd be fixed in like March or something of the sort. But when time came, it didn't show. I mean, even Senator Rosen had put it out there with her PR staff. I mean, Jason, all of us, we were getting excited because the chief of staff was just saying that, hey, we got $15 billion for the emergency EIDL grant, the thing that we were protesting for a year for.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we're still getting ignored. But as time goes along, we're finding out that Rosen talks with Isabel Guzman, the new head administrator, and she wants to get the grants to not just low-income areas. She wants to get them all. She is held back by that December legislation. So we're scratching our heads why the party that was essentially putting up fixes for the EIDL program, why are they holding back this key bill? What is going on with it? I mean, we have our theories, we have our speculations, but I mean, we're kind of coming down to a consensus is that the Congress is scared that there is supposedly a 40% estimated fraud by Hannibal Ware. That's scared Republicans, that's scared Democrats, and it's hurting our business because there's now tighter restrictions. It's red tape hell for business right now. So with Rosen still fighting in that regard, we were just wondering when Schumer or Benjamin Cardin will stand up and say, enough is enough. We've got to get small businesses their cash. Because, I mean, Speak could tell you, he's getting emails just like Jason or others. Businesses are having a hard time. And to be, you know, based on a lottery with a low income area, that's just a slap in the face after 2020, especially after Carranza handled this. So, in any case, but you probably have more to say on that one, Speak. You've heard most of the emails. You know what people are going through.
Yeah, I get emails and comments every day, and it's just sometimes it's hard to sleep for me to sleep at night. You know, knowing that these small business owners just they're going down. They're going down. And knowing what Carranza did with only limiting to $1,000 per person when, you know, we did the responsible thing. The small business owners did the responsible thing. I see you're in a hair salon. I'm sure you guys did the responsible thing too. You shut down. And we've gotten $1,000 from the grant. Some people didn't get the loans. They don't have the credit for it. They just didn't. So they got $1,000 saying, shut your business down. Now, if you shut your business down, how long is $1,000? How long was that supposed to last? You had loaned $10,000. It just still doesn't seem like enough, but it was something. And it just seems like the business owners that I'm getting emails from, a lot of them in Florida, a lot of them just all over the state saying, what's happened? Where did they left us? And we've even started voting in other players in the, we switched the table, and it's still like they're not there. And we're still being ignored, and I don't know what to tell them anymore.
Yeah, I want to add a couple of things to the conversation. One is when you think about small business owners who are losing their businesses and having to close down their businesses, there are a lot of those individuals who are also dealing with death from COVID-19. Family members have passed away. It is a tragedy when you have to deal with death because of a pandemic, as well as the compounded stress of having to close your business down because of the pandemic and not being able to take care of your family. I had a gentleman reach out to me who was trying to get me to help push a bill that could help curb veteran suicide. And he told me that he took this bill to 80 members of Congress, 40 of which were veterans themselves, and not a single one of them took it upon them to push the bill to help it to become law to help curb veteran suicide. The same gentleman also told me that he was speaking to a veteran business owner who was dealing with PTSD. And this veteran lost his business during COVID. And it was the only thing that he felt gave him any value in his family. He felt that his life was worth more with him dead to be able to provide for his family than he was alive after losing his business. I believe that if those funds were available, they would have given him the reassurance to continue on. And the fact of the matter is that this gentleman tried to commit suicide so that his family could get the insurance money to help his family. Now, I believe that that was the wrong course of action to take, but I believe that our government played a part by not doing their part.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we are electing leaders who care about people. Because if we do, there is no way that we can have the situation that we have where they're not trying everything in their power to get resources to the people who not only deserve it, but the people who are out here creating jobs, the people that are out here stimulating our economy, and the people that are out here stabilizing, not only our economy, because our economy is the backbone to the global economy. And so it has national and international impact. Yeah. And leaders who are in positions to write these policies, they need to be able to see the big picture. And the big picture is get businesses the money so that they can help stabilize our economy, help stabilize the global economy, and take away the financial stress in this time of need. Because when you think about financial stress, and then you think about the stress of losing a loved one, it is compounded stress. We are setting our society up for failure by not moving forward with something as simple as getting businesses the funding that they deserve. That's the very least that they could do. And whenever you see senators and representatives hesitating to do this, then those are the ones we have to vote out of office. Yeah. When the time comes, because they are proving themselves to not be for the people. They are proving themselves not to be the kind of leadership that we deserve in our United States Congress. And so they have to go. We got to get rid of them, period.
That's it. That is the answer. I mean, that is the answer. I mean, if they don't work, I know I'm a business owner. If they don't work, we got to fire them. We got to get rid of them. We got to get somebody who's going to step up to the plate and make this happen.
And sometimes it's a really hard effort in and of itself.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. We talked about Marco Rubio not doing what he needs to do to bring resolve to this issue. The fact of the matter is he's been in Congress. He's been in the United States Senate for 11 years. And in 11 years, he has only been to work 40% of the time. My question is, how many of you in your business, how many of you on your jobs can miss that amount of work and still keep your business open or still keep your jobs?
Right. Most
people would be fired and most businesses will go under. Why should he continue to be in the United States Senate when he's clearly not working for you?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
There's only one thing that he's done right that I've seen so far, and that was stepping down from the business committee.
That helped. that helps. He didn't do us any favors. I just say that. I mean, he didn't do us any favors. We've all tried like you said, he's been in there a long time. I think he'd be a great overseas ambassador. Honestly, he does well with stuff over there. But as far as Florida and as far as the United States, the people are really hurting, and he's not doing nothing about it. He's hiding from this. He is hiding from this, and we can't have that. We can't have that. We need somebody that's going to step up and take care of the people. As a man, as a family man, and a businessman, as you are both yourself. Somebody who's a boots to the ground kind of guy, not hiding in the closet. I don't know what he's doing, but he just isn't helping us right now. And I appreciate you for stepping up right now and making awareness, because this is going to bring awareness to the United States and let them know that there's a new, somebody's got to move over. He's in your seat. He's in your seat, and he's just got to move over and let you handle your business. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we need more business owners actually looking out for business owners themselves, because the rest of Congress, they might have businesses, but they have no idea how a business is run.
And I mean, I would love to promote Allen Ellison as the senator here, but I don't know if I can, just because of the fact that I don't know if he's a Bucks fan or if he's a Miami fan, because if he's not a Bucks fan, I might have to go. No, I'm just kidding.
I was rooting for the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's good enough. That's good enough. But anything else want to add, Dunham?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we might as well bring it up. I mean, we've done petitions, we've done calls, we've done emails, faxes. We even got a music video up.
Yep.
And we're actually getting ready to do some other big things right now, because we're finding out that the SBA has not been communicating, especially with the Secretary of the Treasury, to the administration. So, like you said, building a coalition, we've been doing that the past year, especially with Speak and Jason, to make this happen. But I mean, there are many other idle YouTubers out there that put out this stuff every day just to keep people informed. And it's people like us that are pretty much the only ones really speaking up right now, because we've essentially been lied to all year. And the only way we've been able to do anything is by working together. So we're really hoping that Bill S513 can be pinned up there. Mr. Ellison, if it's not too much trouble on your end, could we call on your support to write Isabel Guzman or Charles Schumer in regards to Bill S513?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That would be very, very helpful. Thank you, sir.
And also, I mean, we had spoke once about, I've already protested Rubio's office. They actually kicked me out the doorstep and told me to get away. And I went in front of Trump's White House. They told, my channel told me to get to Washington, D.C. and let Trump know about this. And I protested in front of the White House and the Capitol. I've gone and I've done protesting for this, but to get more back behind it, and just to see you were willing enough to do that with us. If it comes up in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I think what we probably need to do is to hold a press conference at a news organization, a television outlet.
Okay.
And get
right.
Television coverage, because we have to move public sentiment towards this issue in order to get the resolve at the policy level.
Right. Okay.
Agreed.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I want to thank you once again for hitting us here up at SpeaknsEE, and let's go forward with this. And thank you for bringing this awareness to the American people.
No, thank you both for having me with this discussion. I appreciate it so much.
All right. Have a blessed day, brother.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah.
Somebody say, hey.